G'day, this is an instructional video on how to assemble one of the face shields that we are sending out. The reason we're doing this video is because our design is slightly different than some of the other open source face shield designs that you find over in different parts of the world from the original Prusa design. Ours is slightly different, so we're going to run you through how to assemble them and how to expect them when you receive them. So they come in a Ziploc bag which has been put through our quarantine process for a minimum of 3 days. So this has a packing date on it, in this case 14th of the 4th 20. So the bag isn't to be opened until at least 3 days after it's packed, but we do hold those in a quarantine area anyway. So opening up, I'll show you some of the pieces that it comes with. The first one is a visor. It looks very cloudy when you receive it, because it has two protective layers on both sides. So they need to be removed before assembly. We also have the 3D printed headband, which is made out of a mix of PLA and PETG. It's a little bit flexible, but the design difference that we have is we have these 3 lugs on here, which we can mount a cotton sweatband to make it a little bit more comfortable, which looks like this. In each packet we have 4 of those, so that you can interchange them and wash them with detergent as you see fit. We also have a piece of buttonhole elastic to fit to the headband, as well as a reinforcement which goes onto the bottom of the visor just to give it a better shape along the bottom. So without any further ado, I'd like to assemble this. And I'll show you how I assemble it to make it, it's much easier to put this on first rather than once the shield's assembled. But it just fits over these lugs here. You just put it on, and it should stretch a little bit the material to allow you to fit it over. You can see that. So that fits over there. And on the third point, so there's 3 mounting points. It's a bit hard to do. Here we go, so it should be nice and tight. And then that wraps around and back onto the same lugs at the front. It's nice and tight. Look at that. So as I mentioned, we do provide 4 of these. So if you'd like any additional comfort, you can actually have 2 on there instead of 1. There's plenty of room to mount 2 on for double thickness if you're wearing them for long hours. That's the biggest concern with PPE at the moment. Wearing them for so many hours, a lot of people around the world are getting rashes and cuts and all kinds of things on their face. So we've designed this to be as comfortable as possible. Fits directly onto the forehead. So that's the first step, is putting that on. The second step is to remove the seal. It can be a little bit tricky, especially if you're wearing gloves. Just comes off like a phone screen. You can use a sharp tool. Right, really difficult to remove with gloves on. But it just peels off, and once it starts to peel, comes off very easy. So you can just, maybe in one of the corners, you can scratch it off. Mamma mia. Here we go. So once you peel it up, it just comes off, and you can see that you'll still have one of the remove seal labels written on it to remind you to remove it from that side. Be very easy to forget, I think, if you were in a hurry to assemble them. We send them out flat packed, obviously to be most space efficient. And also having this protective layer on here adds to another level of sanitization on it. Really hard in gloves. Might remove this. This is my own face shield, so I'm just going to use my nail. It should come off easily. There we go. And the second layer is off. Hallelujah. So that's, as you can see now, it's very, very clear without the protective layer on it. So to assemble it, let's just get the angles right. There are 4 mounting points. The 2 central ones have a little bit of play in there to allow you to assemble it. And the first one goes on quite easily. Yeah, that's a good angle. So you can actually bend these arms out a little bit. So that's just snapped on there. And now the last one comes around. And you can see it is a little bit shorter by design. So this actually bends out and then should snap into place. So now it's nice and tight. And once the elastic's on, we can actually snap these in further. They actually click into place here. So you can get it right up to your face. Our design comes a lot wider than some of the other open source designs to give you that extra level of side protection. So the elastic itself, buttonhole elastic. One side you can just put it on the first hole if you like, and they just mount over these little attachments here. Sometimes they need a little bit of stretching, but they're designed so that they're not going to come off. Right, once that first one's on, you can actually do a test fitment to the face and find out which hole is going to actually be most comfortable. You don't want it too tight and you don't want it too loose. That'll depend on the size of your noggin. So in my case, I've got a bit of a protruding forehead. I'm on the second hole here. How's that? Yep, that's nice and comfortable. And it's sitting by itself and it's not moving. I'm going to move the head. And you can see now that the bottom is quite flat. We'd like that to curve around a little bit more. So that's what this bottom reinforcement's for. So turning it upside down, you'll be able to, I'll actually turn it as if you're looking at it. This bottom reinforcement has got 3 holes in the bottom, so you actually curve the shield on and snap this into place. So lining it up, you need to line up these holes with the ones that are in the visor, and it should just go down into place. Sometimes it needs a little bit of a push, but once it's snapped in, it shouldn't come out. There we go, and the last one, you should hear a little click. There we go. So that's not going anywhere. Locked into place, and it gives the bottom a much nicer profile. How's that? Much better. So if you have any questions, please do email us at info@free3dhands.org, and we'll also be sending out emails for any advice of research that's been done around the world by Prusa on how to disinfect the face shields. If you need any spare parts, please let us know, and we'll send spare visors or reinforcements or any parts that you need to replace. Thank you.